House, open Monday through Friday from 8 to 4:30, Saturday 8 to 12 noon.
Home Warehouse, where a house becomes a home.
Hi, I'm Jason Brady, the owner of Brady's Rad Cafe, the new restaurant in Uniontown Mall near JCPenney's. Join us for our selection of unique burgers and hot dogs, steak and meatball hoagies, and more. Always fresh and made right here by friendly people in a welcoming throwback atmosphere at Brady's Rad Cafe. No frozen fast food, always fresh and fun at Brady's Rad Cafe in the Uniontown Mall near JCPenney's.
Look and you'll see there's a whole new Ford for you.
Happy New Year from Thurby's Riverside Ford. New year, new deals, and new vehicles. Just announced, new 2025 Ford Bronco and Bronco Sport come with $1,000 Ford bonus cash plus 2.9% Ford credit financing.
And the best-selling truck on the planet, the new 2025 Ford F-150 4x4 comes with $2,250 Ford bonus cash plus 2.9% financing. It may be cold outside, but the deals are hot. Are you thinking about a new 2025 Ford Maverick all-wheel drive pickup? Just announced, $1,000 Ford factory incentive on all Mavericks. We have the inventory and we've got the best deals.
Stop in and see Joey, Sammy, Jimmy, or Ashley at Thurby's Riverside Ford, located 1 mile past the casino at Nemacolin. Ford credit financing required. Offer ends January 31st, 2026. Thurby's Riverside Ford, your presidential award and one Ford elite dealer.
Main Street Theater Company proudly presents Grease on stage at the State Theater January 30th and 31st at 7 p.m. and February 1st at 2. Follow the journey of Danny and Sandy, the Pink Ladies, and the Burger Palace Boys in one of the world's most popular and enduring musicals, with an unforgettable soundtrack featuring hit songs like Greased Lightning, Hopelessly Devoted to You, You're the One That I Want, and more. For tickets, call 724-439-1360 or online at statetheater.info.
Tune in to WMBS Saturday mornings at 8:20 for Your Financial Future with Gary Boatman, certified financial planner, investment advisory representative, syndicated columnist, and author, as he addresses such income issues as planning for retirement, future healthcare expenses, avoiding financial pitfalls, and much more. That's Your Financial Future with Gary Boatman, Saturday mornings at 8:20 right here on WMBS, where Gary Boatman welcomes your calls at 724-243-3075. That's 724-243-3075.
The views and opinions expressed on this program are those of Jon Marietta and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Fayette County Recorder of Deeds Office or Fayette County government. This program is privately produced and funded, and no county resources are used for its production or promotion.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I was trucking up the highway, minding my own lane, with some dude in a Prius went and flipped me off. Guess my redneck hit him wrong. Seems like everyone these days is a ticking time bomb full of hate for folks like me who don't agree and ain't ever gonna change. And it gets me thinking,
Hey, this is Jon Marietta, and I am the Hillbilly. And today's show is being brought to you by Miles' Garage and Tire Center, Fung's Auto Bar, Fayette County Recovery Storage and U-Haul Guy, IDF of Fayette County, Premier Auto Glass, JB Market, Gunslingers in Connersville, Tactical Civics, Auto Orders, Thundering Hills Feed and Supply, The Ink Spot, Fayette County MAGA Patriots Group, Solid Foundation Ministries, Highline Motorsports, Jon Marietta for We the People, Fayette Structures, and go down and check Gino out. He's got some more sheds that just come in, and I'll tell you what, as cold as it is out there, I think everybody wants a shed to store their firewood in right now, or they're cold. Powerline Speedway, and we're going to get an update in a couple weeks about them guys out there, what they're going to do this year. It's a sad thing that happened to Mikey Dreski. So anyways, let me get started. I'll tell you what. There comes a time when God's people can't stay kneeling in the silence, while the wicked run wild, when the prayer turns to power, and faith stands flat-footed in the face of evil. That time, my friends, is right now. Up there in Minnesota, the devil took a swing at the Lord's house. God's people crying at the altar, scattered. And the same old politicians, and I mean it, the same old politicians standing around talking while doing nothing, wringing their hands. But the Word says in Ephesians 6:12, we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, powers, the rulers of darkness in this world, and spiritual wickedness in high places. My grandmother, she was a very wise and faithful person. He used to tell me, humility leads to integrity, and integrity leads to courage. And I think about that every time I see the good folks of this land pushed aside, lied to, and trampled by corruption. Whether it's this, or it's how they tax us to death, or whatever it is, it's corruption. Church, and I mean when I say church, all you people, humility is the seed, but courage is the harvest. It's time for God's people to sow both and reap revival. The Bible says in Proverbs 28:1, the righteous are bold as a lion. So stop hanging your heads low. Stop letting evil drive the wagon, and stop waiting for someone else to fix what God already gave you power to stand against. I need to repeat that. We need to fix the things that God already gave us the power to stand against. This fight ain't for the faint-hearted. Absolutely not. It's for the faithful. It's for men and women who know that righteousness still exalts a nation, and sin is still a reproach to any people. Don't you bow to tyrants. Don't you flinch before lies. For the same God who shut the lion's mouth of Daniel still shuts the mouths of deceivers today. And just like he told Joshua, and I've repeated this verse many times, and it was a favorite of a good friend of mine, Gwen Kelly, be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. So stand tall, stand bold, and stand together, for the church of Jesus Christ will not fail, no matter what gates of hell rise against it. God's not finished with America, and he's waiting for his people to quit sitting and start standing. And I'll tell you this, the devil may have started this fight, but I read the back of the book, and friends, we win. I tell you, I'm going to get a couple people here to weigh in on this with me here today, but I have Butch, or am I supposed to call you Al?
You can call me anything. Al Buckton, Butch Buckton, and everybody knows me.
And I got Larry Doherty that most people can't see right now. He's with me. But this is appalling, what happened up there. We had a CNN. We had somebody from CNN, the way I understand it. His name is Don Lemon.
He was fired from CNN.
Okay, well, that still don't do it. No justice. Going to church that people were worshiping.
Yeah.
And try to and disturb this church service and try to get people and just to be a nuisance. I mean, if they wanted to protest out on the sidewalk, they wanted to march up and down, that's fine. God bless them.
Yeah.
I mean, that's America. That's what we're about. But to do what they did, they entered somebody's home. They entered the house of God, really.
Sure.
And so now I've got several phone calls from. I attend many different little churches, and I am so humbled that people ask me to come to their church. Believe me, I am, because. But anyways, we're not going to go into that part of it today. But I've had several of them call me. You know, what do we do? And I mean, this is open house. I mean, people want you to come in. They want you to understand what God's about. They want you to come in. They want you to feel that. And to turn people away because you don't know them or you don't trust them, that's not what we need to be doing here right now. And I understand that it was about a minister, I guess, that was helped some ICE people or some ICE agents or something, or he. It don't matter. It's wrong. I don't care what anybody says. It's completely wrong. And I'm going to have more to say about this as time goes on. Alan, I'll let you weigh in. Go ahead.
Yeah, first I want to thank you for letting me be here today, giving me this opportunity to reach out to the folks. I think it all comes down to strong leadership. That's where it all starts. When leadership's weak like that, then you're going to have the chaos, confusion, and the inmates are going to run the asylum. With that said, they don't have that up there. And you know, it's like the little kid that's kicking and screaming because they want the candy that you can't get. It's no different up there. And we have that here as well. We had that almost the same situation in Charleroi with what's happening down there. And
well, I'm under the understanding that Charleroi is it's really bad.
I spent 2 months down there, toured the town. I go down there. I try to go once every week. And yeah, it's not the Charleroi I remember. My daughter's godparents are from there. Spent a lot of time. A lot of guys work for me that live there. It's just not. So we need to get the leadership in there that's going to fix these problems. And it really has to be about strong leadership. Same with up there. Until they get Tim Waltz and the rest of those people out there, Ilya and Omar, it's not going to change. They're just going to keep, the blue state blue.
Well, we all know how things deteriorated.
Yep.
I mean, and let's face it, we can blame the D's and we can blame the R's, but let's face it. We've left this happen to ourselves, and my grandmother always used to say, "You only tolerate what you tolerate."
Yeah.
And I don't know if anybody understands what she was saying, but but what she was saying is that you only put up with what you're willing to put up with, and if you don't, and if you want to change things, then you have to step aside, or you got to move forward, or you got to stand up for yourself, or you got to stand up for the people around you. I really believe that the deterioration of the family and on, the things that happened. I mean, my family, we ate dinner. That's what we called it. A lot of people call it supper, but we ate dinner every night at 5 o'clock. I mean, and if you wasn't there, you were working, and that's how it was. Now maybe but that's how it was. My mother fixed dinner for everybody, and you was there. My wife still does that, and we have people. We have people at our house every night. So I mean, but maybe I'm fortunate about these things, but the church has to step up right now, and they got to support the right people, and that's what I'm trying to get at.
Sure.
And we need to get the right people in office, and that's where you come in.
Yeah.
You're running for, what's the district over there?
It's District 46. It's Greene County, Washington County, both of those two, and a couple townships in Beaver County, the southern portion of Beaver County. About 300,000 constituents in the area. Most of the constituents live in the Washington County. You have 31,800 roughly Greene County. I know statistically they're going to say they had an increase in population in Washington, but the only increase, they went from 205,000 to 211,000 is because the new census, it took into consideration the 4,719 in Charleroi. So that's the difference of the population increase. And then there's a few thousand in Beaver. So.
I guess people would like to know just a little bit about you.
Sure.
So let's start right there.
Sure. Married, first and foremost.
How many years?
This is my...
I won't ask you the date.
This is my 11th year.
Okay. Well, 11 years you should still remember. How about it, Larry?
My wife made sure it was on Valentine's Day, so you can't forget that day, right?
Believe me,
she's
you can.
She's a good woman. She puts up a lot with me, but I got to tell you, she's a God-fearing woman, and she supports me in whatever I do. She's very good. I have two small ones. One's 17 and one's 14, going to be 15 too. And then my daughter, Victoria, lives in Cranberry. She's 32, just turned 32 the other day. So a little bit about me. I'm Catholic, born and raised in Greene County. I live in Cannonsburg now. I love the area. I have some businesses, Advanced Equipment Rental, Advanced Masonry, and we have ATA Holdings. It is just some property management, storage units, commercial buildings, and stuff like that. So pretty much business all my life into construction, and it's just time to move on. My next step was up into politics, was going into the school board and being on a board there, which is where I really thought, you know what, I know I can make a difference at the next level, the state level, and just finding waste and abuse and putting the right people in the right places. We pretty much fixed that school district there. It's on the right path, but it takes, you have to clean it out, and that's one of my main focuses, to get this budget in line and pretty much expose all this stuff. How the money's being wasted.
Oh, they're going to hate you.
Well, I mean, it is what it is. Listen, if we don't do this now, our population is going to decline so bad. We're losing 84,000 residents in the state a year.
Yep.
We are going to be in an impasse to where nobody can afford to live here.
Here's one of the things, and I'm just a hillbilly. So I'm not no educated accountant, but when you pass a budget, okay, and you probably know the numbers better than I do at the state level. I can tell you what it is at our county level, but we're talking about the state level now.
Sure.
Because we're talking about Pat Stefano. We're talking about what's that girl's name you're running against?
Cameron Bartolo
DeWeese. Yeah. They passed this bloated budget. They take in, is it $42 billion a year?
The revenue stream that I did, I stayed up for 3 days, and I went through every document I could find to tally the revenue stream, and I could come up with $46 billion.
Okay.
That was it. But still, you're $4 to $6 billion upside down.
I thought it was more like 14.
No, it's four. They passed a $50.1 billion budget. My opponent said that was responsible. How is a deficit of $4 to $6 billion a year responsible?
These people talk about millions and billions, and they do it at the county level too.
Yeah,
they talk about millions and billions.
Sure.
Like we're driving through the drive-through at McDonald's and say supersize our French fries. I mean that's how they treat this. I mean they do. Larry's over there. His head's like he's like a bobblehead here today. But anyways, I mean, but that's what they're about. I mean they just and one of our county commissioners actually said government isn't a business, and it's not to make money. It's designed to spend money. Well, yeah, it is designed to spend money, but we're spending the taxpayers' money. We're on their dime. So we got to make sure that if we can buy something for 7 cents, we better be buying it for 7 cents instead of 10. And that's what we're elected to do. These people, I tell you, at the state level, it's ridiculous. I mean, we got a turnpike that was supposed to be paid for how many years ago?
A long time ago.
And the tolls just keep going up and up.
4% increase this year.
Okay.
4%.
I mean, if I go to Harrisburg, and I know when you're on your way to Harrisburg after you win this race, you're going to be traveling 68, and that's a sin. That's a sin. You should be traveling. Well, I don't know. Well, you probably do it because you'll do it to save taxpayers money. But the thing of it is you gotta. I mean, we was just out the farm show.
There's no fiscal responsibility.
And they don't care.
And well, they're going to have to care now because these deficits that they're incurring are going to catch up to them in 2 to 4 years when they deplete their emergency funds, their rainy day funds, so called, and then you're really going to have a problem. And unfortunately, for guys like me and Larry and the rest of the new group that's going to get elected, voted in with God willing and everybody's help, it's going to fall on us to fix this mess. The same thing that I had to do at Carmichael School. We had the same mess. We lost $4.125 million in 3 years, and we were on our way to bankruptcy. And I got in and I started cracking the books open, and I mean, this is what I've done pretty much my whole life. And I told them, you have a problem. Now back to your point, it's not the same as your business. You know how many times I heard that? Well, after a year,
I've heard it lots.
After a year, they're like, okay, we need to fix. So we put a recovery plan together, and we fixed it in about a year and a half. But it was with the right people in the right places.
Well, it takes the right people. There's no doubt about it. And it takes people that aren't afraid to, like my grandmother used to say, lace up your boots and stand up, for God's sake. But that's what it takes.
Sure.
And we got to keep moving forward, and we can't. If we don't get it done right now with Donald Trump in the White House, it's never going to happen.
Yep.
It's never going to happen. And, it's, socialism, Maggie Thatcher said, socialism only works until the money runs out.
Yep.
And right now, we're in a socialist economy here in Pennsylvania. We're in a socialist economy in Fayette County and probably Greene County. I don't know how Washington County is a little bit more fiscally.
Here's the issue with all the counties around here, the surrounding county, Fayette, Greene, Washington, Beaver, you name it. They're all, here's the problem. You have the Senate has held that office, the majority, since 1994. So you think you would be able to get stuff done. Now, in that time, we've had Republican governors. Still couldn't get nothing done. Now, the Democrats haven't always held the House. So why can't we get anything done? It's because the bureaucracy. The bureaucracy is so bad. In the swamp, it's going to get drained. It has to get drained. This state is going to be in turmoil. Yeah, and that's I'm not trying to scare people. That's fact and reality. And that's all I do is fact check.
Well, it's just like this. And a good friend of mine has said it many times. You can't drain the swamp if the alligator's holding the plunger.
Mm-hmm.
That's just how it is. It takes somebody to battle through this, and that's what we have to do. It doesn't have to be mean. It don't have to be.
No.
But we have to be consistent about what we say and what we do, and that's the main thing.
Sure. Would you agree? We want to keep our youth here, right? That's the future of the state.
Absolutely. We're losing Penn State here in Fayette County.
They're leaving in droves.
Yeah.
They're leaving in droves because there's no system in place right now for them to have a financially stable job here to create a family.
I got an idea. How about this? Let's see what you think about this.
Go ahead.
Greene County, they're still mining coal. I don't know, what is it, 12 million tons a year? Does that sound about right?
Yeah, maybe a little bit more.
Maybe a little bit more. There's enough natural gas between Fayette County and Greene County.
Yeah.
How about a big power plant, that burns coal and natural gas? How about that? Why did our county commissioners from Greene County, from Fayette County, our state senators, both of them, it happened under their watch.
Yes, it did.
Why did they let that leave? There's no possible that we should have figured out how to keep that power plant in Masontown, no matter what we did. That should have been number one priority. Yep. I think it employed around 300. I think it might have been
a little bit more than that. Yeah. But the support companies.
The support companies.
Yes.
For every man that worked in it's like 6 to 1.
Yeah.
So the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker, just all the different things that supported that. The guy that sold them the tools to work inside there, the guy that sold them the grease, anything you can imagine, and we let that go, and they have nothing to show for it at all.
Now they're scrambling to do what?
Try to
build all these power plants
back. Yep, and there is a theory about this. I've talked to you probably know who Siemens Corporation is.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyways, they're doing it in a couple different places. But what they want to do is they want to bring in these they want to build micro generators.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you put them on a plant. Whatever it is, it builds widgets, okay, and you power itself with the natural gas from right here, or they actually have some of them. If I'm understanding right, they power them with coal.
Mm-hmm.
So you're making electricity right here with the product we have right here, and we're selling it. All the excess electricity goes in the grid. In the grid.
Yeah.
So why can't why don't we move forward with this kind of operation?
John, it's a lack of vision. And it's not only a lack
You're
of vision.
The second person that's told me
it's
that.
a lack of results from the vision. So what we have is a hallucination. And that's what we have right now, and that's the way it's going to be. These people are people in power right now. They really don't understand how infrastructure works. I really adore President Trump, and I try to model myself after him, being that we were both construction and the finance and strategic planning, and that's what I do, strategic planning. His ideas are really good, although they come off wrong sometimes and people misinterpret them, but it's right. I mean, it's about your gasoline. Look at our gas.
Yep, he just said it on the radio.
So our commodities, just because of our gas in this state alone, are through the roof. So that's the increased cost of living here. It shouldn't be that way. So they can only tax us so much. And then, like I said, everybody's going to be leaving.
Well, I do got a question. We'll get
Sure.
I got a question for you. What was the single biggest reason that you believe the Cameron Barlotta should not ever return to Harrisburg after her term's done?
Whew, that's a tough one, because from my data collection and just all the research, there's so much. I mean, I don't have to run a smear campaign. All I have to do is recite record. And I think it's the record, the predominant votes with the Democrats, in whether it's a bill for the expunging the records of felons.
The hairdo bill.
The woke Crown Act, that's not going to be good for employers. There's so much. We could go on. You don't have enough time for me today. I'm telling you, we could go on. There's so many different things. I think some of it has to do, and I think House Representative Bud Cook touched on it, the LSA distribution, the way the system's set up and the oversight. There's not really any, because there's only 4 counties that manage their own LSA, and Washington County is one of them.
Okay.
She sits on that board. So, which I don't think any politician should be involved, or their family or their friends, with any 501c3s. There's just too much there that can be, corruption can run deep, and I'm not saying that this is happening, but it could be. It's just there to happen. So,
well, since you brought up the LSA, from what I understand, the LSA money comes from the casinos?
Yes.
Okay, so originally that money was to be put forth that when we do these casinos, we're going to reduce your property taxes, okay? Or we're going to, I think the original thought was do away with the senior citizens after you turn a certain age. You wouldn't pay property taxes no longer. But now it's become a way to buy votes.
Yeah. And that's 100% right. Like I said, I think I put it out, or my team put it out the other day, that we've been tracking since I announced in July. We've been tracking. It was like 176% increase in the grant funds that are being distributed right now by my opponent since July. It's unprecedented, and we're running a fiscal budget of upside down. And there's just so what I think is. I think there's being a transfer from areas pushing money this way. And it's good for now, but, it hasn't happened in the last 11 years. So that's kind of not good.
Well, I'm sure that there'll be somebody with a little bit of accounting will be able to track down how all this works out.
And that brings me to another point. I recently asked...
But before I should preface that with one thing. Government accounting is different from business accounting. I don't know if you realize that or not. The numbers don't always add up.
No.
But don't worry about it. They'll say it'll work out. Don't worry about it. You know what? If you ran your business, I don't care what it is.
You're bankrupt.
Storage business. The sheriff's already there at your
you're bankrupt.
Yeah.
So for people out there, there's only three things different in business from government to private business. One is they get a cheaper interest rate on a loan by a point. Two, they are mandated to give you budgets by a certain date. Our budget was supposed to be past June 30th for July 1st to start. And three is it's your money they're using. It's your money. So we, the people, need to speak up, and the only way you could speak up is to get out and vote to protect your money.
Yeah, you're exactly right. It is every man, woman that pays property tax or pays school taxes. It is your money, no matter how you look at it. And if somebody's going to be using it irresponsible, then you have to make them accountable to it.
You 100% do, and I just think that accountability is one thing that I'm running on. Transparency is another thing that I'm running on. People make mistakes, but it's the people that you want to empower that can fix those mistakes without costing a lot of money or damaging the constituents. And right now, it's not even a matter of the mistakes getting fixed. We're just being bypassed, and it's really hurting the area.
One of my favorite things, and I'm getting off point here, but one of my favorite things that I think that where government should step in, where government should help the people out, and I don't know if it's with. I'm not a real opponent of grant money. First of all, and a lot of people will say, if we don't use the grant money, somebody else will do it. Well, yeah, but it's still taxpayer money, no matter how you look at it. I met with a lady today. It wants to start something, and it's an honorable thing that she wants to do. And I said, I will help you chase. I will help you chase whatever private money we can. I said, I'll do all of that. I said, as far as the grant money goes, I said, I think we need to step back and take a look and see because what she wants to do is a good thing, but we also got to watch, because we got bridges that are out. We got roads that need repaired. And is there a road that needs repaired in Greene County or Washington County?
Every one of them.
Okay. You think about these things, and the other thing is too, our seniors are put up against it because of the property taxes.
Yeah.
Greene County, if people don't understand, but there's not a whole lot to tax over there.
No.
I mean, so property taxes are high. School taxes are unbearable.
You got 11,300 people working per the last census out of 32,000 people. That's it.
Yeah,
a third.
One third of the population. I would say that if you did the numbers, it's probably maybe a little bit higher in Fayette County, but it isn't much.
No, in Washington County, believe it or not, it's not much difference. All the counties in this corridor here, this Southwest PA, it's pretty much the same. And another thing to that is the average population across the United States is 40. And everybody's like, well, that's not bad. But that's just the average. In our area, it's 43. Now, you say that's only 3 years, but that is a lot. I mean, you're talking, that's jacking things up into 60 and 70 and 80. So we're predominantly, our age it's not going the right way. It's trending wrong. So, and again, it goes back to leadership. How are you keeping these people here? The plans you're putting forth, they're not good.
The only way we keep people in the county, it's called jobs.
Yep.
I mean, and you have to have good paying jobs. We can build all the Walmarts we want, but that isn't that. I mean, and I'm not putting Walmart down. They provide a service. They provide jobs for people that might otherwise not work. But what I'm saying is that I worked as a meat cutter for 42 years, and of course I was at top of the food chain.
Sure.
So, but when entry level jobs are important, because the kid that goes out and gets the buggies, and today he should make a little extra money with weather and stuff. But I mean, but the thing of it is it needs to be. We need to keep them jobs also, but we need to get jobs in manufacturing. We got to build stuff here. We got to make. One of the things that energy is the biggest thing we have in this part of the state, and it goes from Greene County clear across the Bedford County and beyond. But I mean that clear across the state.
Yep.
If you look at the natural gas play, it's clear across there. I mean, and there's coal clear across there.
Yeah.
I mean, it isn't the same. It isn't the same kind of coal that they mine in Greene County as they mine in Somerset County or they mine in Bedford, because there's believe it or not, there's a lot of coal in Bedford County, and people we're overlooking these things. That we're standing on 200 years of coal right here in Fayette County.
My biggest thing is we're tearing down more square footage. And it's evident to see. Just go down 79 anyway. We're tearing down more square footage than we're building, and that's a telltale sign that we have problems. I mean, we're in a recession as far as the building and growth of our area, and I have some really, really good plans and policies that I want to implement once I get in. A couple of them, the little ones I've released, and there's some really ones. It's on business infrastructure, being more business friendly. These people, they don't understand how to do that. They don't know how. If your business isn't growing, your population's not growing. It's basic. It's just common sense. So we have to be more business friendly and make these businesses profitable to grow the population. And I'll tell you, a good one I just released was starting the apprenticeship programs in 10th grade, working with the general trades, and this is an excellent program. I was just down in D.C. over the weekend, and I met with President Bush's one of his cabinet members, and she's coming up next week to meet with me about it, because she thinks that could be a national program. And it's common sense, but it's like unheard of. Nobody, I'm a think tank. That's what I think I am myself, a think tank. That's all I do.
We'll talk to your wife about that.
No, don't.
But I mean, in all seriousness, and I want to include Larry in on some of this stuff, because Larry's running for state committee, but we need to teach kids how to. You're right. We need the plumbers, the pipe fitters, the welders, the masons. That we need all these. And if you can start them out in 10th grade, I mean, and there's probably going to be some legal challenges to the whole thing, but
insurance will be the biggest.
Insurance is going to be the biggest thing.
Yeah,
and the insurance is that's
another topic.
Yeah, I mean that's.
But I did speak with. I got a phone call. I was really shocked. That was one of the top executives from Shell Oil, and we talked for an hour and a half, and he was talking about, he followed me, and he was talking about my apprenticeship program that I want to implement, and he's like, you don't know how this is going to be a game changer for not only building, but for the youth, as far as making money, good money, to start a family right out of high school. He said, because when we were building the cracker plant up in Beaver, he said we had a problem with the Boilermakers. Couldn't get enough of them. They were not equipped. They weren't trained properly. This is a really good thing that's going to help everybody.
I actually knew a friend of mine went up. He was he certified welds. Mm-hmm. That's what he did, and he told me I said, what do you do, sleep all day? I said, I mean, he said, dude, I can't get to everywhere I need in one day's time up there. He says sometimes they have to stop production, so they have to stop welding till I can get there, because the next. And he did that. I mean, that was his thing. But he said, I said, are you kidding me? And he said, no. He says, you go up there and look at the railroad tracks going into that thing, and then you tell me what you see. Yeah. And of course, I drove up there and I looked at it. That could have been in Fayette and Greene County. Yeah. That could have very well been in Fayette.
That could have. And here we're going to go to this. I know my opponent voted for a bill. It was for the renewable energies that, from my conversations with these people in energy, it's hurt them. We're not drill baby drilling right now. No matter what you think, we're not. And that's not coming from me. That's coming from people that are way up in this chain of the oil and gas industry. So it's being held back. Red tape, just a lot of hindrances for these companies to get really moving. And here's just for instance, back when it really started in 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, it was booming. And you know how I knew it was booming? I was buying probably $2 million worth of equipment a year, and I couldn't get it fast enough. Nobody could.
Light towers.
Now,
light towers.
Telehandlers, light towers, everything, you name it. Now you can't get it. Now, who benefited from that? It wasn't me directly. It was the company that benefited and the employees, because I had to hire more people, truck drivers, mechanics. So they are just hindered in their ability to be able to produce infrastructure.
Well, I will tell you that I had another friend. He got elected to an office, but he had like 5 light towers. And how he ended up with them, I don't even remember now. He bought them at an auction, and somebody found out he had them. And when he found out he had them, it was just like he couldn't. He said, I couldn't believe it. He said I didn't even have. He said they were giving me almost what I paid for them to rent them.
Yeah.
He said that's off. And I'm sure he still has them 5 light towers parked somewhere. But
well, hopefully he'll get to use them again once I get in there, because I have some really good business plans put together. I'll be releasing. I'm trying to release one really good plan and policy every month. And these, if we can implement these 3 or 4, actually it's going to be 5 that I want to do, you're going to see an industrial revolution in the 46th district. I really believe strongly. I'm working with some big developers in West Virginia, billion-dollar developers. They will not come into our area.
Nope.
They came in.
I've tried.
They came in and they made this gentleman pay $1 million for an earthquake study.
Yep.
He said, I'm done.
I probably talked to the same man, but you're right, exactly. Because I had somebody call me and they wanted. But it went around the circle. But somebody wanted to invest money here in Fayette County, and we got to this somebody from West Virginia, and he said there's no way. He said your politicians got their hands out so far. He said they'll regulate me to the point where I can't. He said I want nothing to do with Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
He said I'd love to help you. He said if I can help you in any other way, he said I will. And but that was one of the things he said.
Yeah.
He said they got their hands stuck out so far. He said, and if you don't give, if the money doesn't come through, he says they'll just regulate me right out of the ballpark.
And that's what they did with one of the buildings I built down in Hotronics. They're a very good company. They're from up north, mom and pop. They're the ones that do the behind the stage. They do the shirts, the jerseys for the draft.
Yeah,
big company, and we built a new plant for them. Well, just because of 3 or 4 cattails in a wet area, there was no natural tributation to this area. So that means no water going into it. It was just a wet from a depression. We had to redesign the whole building. Cost thousands, hundreds of thousands. We had a delay of 6 months. Now, that company lost 6 months of revenue. It was $5 million they lost on top of the time and the new drawings and everything to reorganize where the buildings were going to go.
Yeah, well, it comes to a point where you say, this isn't worth it.
Yeah, they said we could build on more, never again. Now, that's what you get.
Well, and the other thing is too. I mean, if a lot of what we got to do is you said this perfectly. The infrastructure has to be in place before we bring these people in. Because if they don't have the electric to operate a building or operate whatever industry that's coming, then they can build all they want. I mean, if they can't power it, and that's where these micro generator system was coming in, and people were really they're really looking at this because. It makes a lot of sense. I do know out west, one of the things that if you do a development, I got this off of from one of the recorders from far away because we're in a software changeover. But anyways, he told me, he said right now in their state, if you do a development, you have to be able to provide water, sewage, and power before that. All them three things have to be in place before the development can start.
Right.
So that's what they do.
Yeah.
So you don't have to worry about running electric lines to somebody. You don't have to worry about water lines. You have to provide that. It has to be there before you start selling houses in a development. And of course, it makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense.
It does, and I think the part of the biggest problem here in Pennsylvania, because most of my work was in West Virginia, and there was not the issues down there at all.
West Virginia builds railroads.
You know what? It was pull the permit, start digging the day we pulled the permit.
Yeah.
And it was efficient. I'll just tell you how efficient. It goes back to the businesses. Why would you build a business in Pennsylvania when you could build it in West Virginia and pay 8 to 10% less on workers' comp, unemployment, all your payroll burden taxes? Now, if you have $4 million in payroll, it's a lot of money. So, and most people I know that are making a lot of money, they reinvest it back into businesses. But up here, it's tough. It really is tough to own a business in Pennsylvania right now. But it all comes back to this whole thing hinges on being business friendly. The population, cost of living, everything hinges on that. Getting the right businesses in here.
Well, we got 2.5 minutes left. Where can I get a hold of you?
Buckton4pa.com. And there's some information on there. There's a website, and we also have our Facebook, which is coming along really nicely. But I'm out and about all the time. I start visiting businesses at 6 in the morning till 9. I go to work for 3 hours. Then I go knock on doors till about 4:30, and then I usually have an event every night. So. Then after that, I do research.
Yeah, and we'll get you rescheduled to come back in.
Yeah, for sure. I like it.
Larry, I appreciate you coming in today. You didn't get to say too much, but
I'm sorry, Larry. I talk a lot.
Oh, it's all good.
Larry's running for state committee, and by the way, we're having an event for Fayette County committee people. Anybody that would want to, we're going to try to teach you how to get involved in the Republican Party here in Fayette County. It's going to be Thursday night at 6 o'clock at the Paint Room in Connellsville. I really would appreciate it. Anybody that wants to come, show up. There's 56 people that changed the way that the whole world is looked at right now today when they signed the Declaration of Independence, and there was only 12 disciples, and they changed the way everything went.
Another present for you.
So, anyways, I really appreciate. He gave me some cigars too, but I really appreciate everything everybody does. And if you got time, stop in. Larry, we're pushing for you. We're pushing for the Butch here, and I'm going to call him Butch forever, probably.
That's okay.
But anyways, the other thing that we're going to have Harry Cochran on probably next Tuesday, and we're going to try to change the way things are done here in Fayette County and the way things have.
I just want to congratulate you on your new win.
Thank you. Yeah, it was. I had a lot of people help me. It worked out. I don't think it was a win for me. It was a win for the people.
Sure.
Okay, let's close up like I always do. On this road called life, you have to take the good with the bad. Smile when you're sad, love what you got, and remember what you had. Always forgive and try to forget. People change. Things go wrong. But just remember, the ride goes on. God bless each and every one of you, and God bless America. I am John Marietta, and I am the Hillbilly.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Duke's Mayo.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. President Trump marks his first year in office, talking about his accomplishments and answering multiple questions. CBS's Linda Kenyon.
President Trump spoke to reporters as he prepared to head